This video covers more detail on how to use the phase planning module of Nialli Visual Planner. But first off, what is a phase plan? One of the things that differentiates Nialli Visual Planner from other construction management tools on the market is that it focuses on a collaborative, hands-on approach to scheduling known as the Last Planner System, or LPS for short. Now, this video is not going to go into all the specifics you need to know about LPS planning, but there is an important distinction for us to draw, and that is the difference between pull planning versus push planning. Push planning is the approach that most conventional construction projects follow. Tasks get ordered sequentially based on a predetermined timeline on the project, and this is often set up by a central scheduling team or a project manager. So when projects are predictable, this approach to planning makes a ton of sense. Everyone knows where they're supposed to be, deadlines are clear, and control can be centrally managed. But the problem is that so often in construction, projects are not predictable. So what happens is you end up with a lot of bottlenecks and constraints on the project, and this ultimately causes schedule delays and cost overruns. So what if there's a better way to plan? Pull planning is the other way to handle this. Rather than a schedule being pushed upon the team in the field, work only gets released once the field has confirmed that they are ready and available to take on those tasks. And this is where the phase pull planning module of Nialli Visual Planner comes into play. The phase plan starts from your end objective, or milestone, and works backwards in a visual way to ensure that everything gets done in order to hit that objective. This typically happens on a 6 to 8 week time horizon. What's really important with this process is that you get the feedback and input from the folks in the field responsible for executing on those activities. You need to make sure that they're going to be able to complete this work without getting interrupted or delayed. And with that, let's get into how to set up the phase plan. To create a phase plan within Nialli Visual Planner, you're going to want to come to the home screen menu here. And you're going to see a button here called Phase Pull. Click that button, and it's going to open up a dialog to let you choose where you would like to do a phase plan within your project. That could be any of the areas of work. You're also going to see a button here called Master Activities. This allows you to import information in from your master schedule. Now, a word of advice, we caution you to be limited in what information you bring in. And that's because you want the trades on the ground to be active collaborators in this process. If they feel the schedule has already been set, or you're overwhelming them with too much information, their likelihood of collaborating and providing input is going to be limited. Once you've done this, go ahead and click Save, and you're ready to get started in the phase pull module. When you open your phase plan for the first time, it's going to appear as a blank canvas. Unless, of course, you've imported items in from your master schedule, such as milestones or activities. Everything within phase planning is designed to be drag and drop. So you can bring items down from your master schedule. Let's start with adding in a milestone. To add new activities, it's simply a press and hold or right click. You're going to put in the name you'd like to call your milestone. We'll just call this sample for now. You can also add in a schedule ID if you're trying to tie it to a master schedule, assign your milestone a color, and you can add in a condition of satisfaction. If you're not familiar with the term conditions of satisfaction, this is an optional field you can fill out on your milestones to denote a requirement or a condition that has to be hit in order for the milestone to be considered completed. Now let's add an activity. You're going to notice that this follows the same process as adding an activity in the weekly plan. Give your activity a name. We'll call ours Demo for making this quick. You can add in details as well as the schedule activity ID. And you select which trade this applies to. In this case, let's make it plumbing. You'll also select how many days you'd like your activity to be and how many crew are going to be showing up to do that activity. Hit Save. And you'll see that your activity's been added into the plan. Now that you've had a chance to add in some activities to your plan, you can quickly rearrange and position these activities with your team to determine the optimal flow of work. Additionally, you can connect activities by drawing the little green arrow in the corner to connect it to another task. You'll also notice there's little blue ellipses. This allows you to quickly extend or contract the length of your activity. And that's all there is to it. Just remember that phase planning is designed to be a collaborative process and to get as much direct involvement from the field as possible. For next steps on how to take your phase plan into the weekly schedule within Nialli Visual Planner, be sure to check out our next video on weekly planning.